Good morning. Here at the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington, every day and every way we bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space for what you believe, who you are, what you love, and who you love. Your whole self is welcome here. It is important that you showed up today. Gathering in community is an act of rebellion against isolation and hopelessness. Knowing this to be true, please repeat after me, we are rebels for hope. We are rebels for hope. And that we are. My name is Linda Brown, and I'm your service leader today. My pronouns are she, hers. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, whether enjoying the service here in person. I love seeing how many of you are here today, or watching online. I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors who are with us today. After the service, we invite you to stay for coffee and conversation downstairs in our reception hall. Please take a moment to silence your phones, but we do encourage you to share your presence with us on social media. We have a number of announcements today. This Thursday, November 27th, will be the 4th annual Thanksgiving dinner at UUCF at 4 o'clock. The church provides the turkey and ham. Beyond that, it's potluck. Anyone interested in good food and a nice time are welcome. RSVPs aren't necessary, but are certainly appreciated by the organizers. Additionally, we are looking for a few people to help set up and clean up. Contact Tom Bjorklund at thanksgiving@uufarmington.org with any questions, RSVPs, or offers to help. This Friday at 7 p.m. is Crafters in Community, our monthly gathering for folks working on craft projects at any time, and that is downstairs in Adams Hall. Next Sunday, November 30th, we will be joining Birmingham Unitarian in Bloomfield Hills for their bread communion service. So do not come here. Please go to Birmingham. UUCF Book Club updates. Our last club for 2025 is The Night Circus. Our last book for 2025 is The Night Circus by Emily Morgenstern. In this speculative fantasy novel, a deadly game is played between two magicians, Celia and Marco, in a unique circus that appears without warning where only one can survive. Join us for discussion and community on Tuesday, December 2nd from 7 to 9 in Adams Hall. Okay, and from our Social Justice Committee. As everyone who has ever met a baby knows, diapers are not fun, but they are a constant need. As conditions worsen for our friends in shelter, we have an ongoing need for diapers of all sizes and wipes. There are about 30 kids in diapers in the shelter, and as every parent knows, they use a lot of diapers. Costco and Aldi have the best deals, but Meijer often runs good sales. Please keep these donations coming. You can always leave them in the white bin in the foyer or on the red bin downstairs, or ask us a Social Justice Committee member for help. Also, ongoing support we need is for our little free pantry that has become very popular in our community. Neighbors are sharing what they can and taking what they need. We are in need of some of the more popular items and hope you can help. Can you donate any of the following? Canned or pouched tuna and chicken, cereal in small boxes, peanut butter, hygiene and household products, bottled water. Please place any donations in or near the red bin in Adams Hall. And thank you for both of these in advance from the Social Justice Committee. Opportunities for connection this coming week. Monday night, choir and an AA meeting separately. Tuesday, men's lunch. Thursday at 4 is the Thanksgiving potluck I mentioned before. And Friday at 7, Crafters and Community, again in Adams Hall. We begin our service by lighting the chalice, which is the symbol of the faith that we share with the words from our mission statement. Please join in reading our mission statement in unison. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, live with compassion. Please rise in body or spirit for our hymn from the great hymnal, number 306, Sing of Living, Sing of Dying. And it's to the tune of number 126 if you want to flip back and forth.
Sing of living, sing of dying, let them both be joined in one. Parts of an eternal process, like the ever-circling sun. From the freshness of each infant, giving hope in what is new, to the wisdom of the aged, deepened by a longer view. Open to a deeper loving, open to the gift of care, searching for a higher justice, helping others in despair. Through the tender bonds of living, in a more inclusive way, we are opened more to suffering from the losses of each day.
Hello, my name is Argo Kramer. I am the Religious Education Coordinator for UUCF, and today we are going to be reading From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea for our message for all ages. And before we start here, I have a word to teach some of the youth. Some of the adults probably know this word. The word is allegory. I'm going to give you the definition. It's a narrative or visual art form in which a character, place, or event can be interpreted to represent a meaning with moral significance. Okay, so we're going to keep that in mind. An allegory is when something in a story represents something else, okay? And if any of you want to see the pictures clearer, you can come sit up here, or they'll be shown up there. Once upon a time, in a little blue house on a hill on the edge of town, a baby was born. They were born when both the moon and the sun were in the sky, so the baby couldn't decide what to be, boy or girl, bird or fish, cat or rabbit, tree or star. So the baby looked a little like everything. They looked very strange. All the same, the baby's mother gave her child a bath and rocked them in her arms. Your name, she said, is Mulan. And she sang a song that her own mother had sung to her long ago. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high. And I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. And even though they still couldn't decide, the baby felt loved. Miulan grew up to be a strange, magical child who was always changing. They grew feathers and wings to fly with bluebirds in the mornings, scales and a tail to swim with fish in the afternoons, and fur and paws to play with puppies in the evenings. No matter how many things Miulan became, their mother always brought them back into the little blue house and gave them a bath and tucked them into bed at the day's end. As the stars rose, she sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." And Miulan felt loved. One day, it was time for the child to go to school. They were so excited. They grew a tail of peacock feathers and a coat of tiger stripes. "Have fun," said Miulan's mother, but when they got to school, the other students were either boys or girls. They had no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, not even any sparkles. No one invited Miulan to play. One little boy ran up to the child and asked, "What are you supposed to be?" And Miulan did not know how to answer. When they came home, their mother asked them how they liked school. "It's okay," said Miulan. "Did you make any friends?" "Not really," said Miulan. That night, Miulan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by, and you know that I'll love you till the day that I die." And Miulan felt loved, but also worried. And the next day, they wore a turtle shell and porcupine spikes. No one pulled or poked at them, but the other children still pointed and whispered. "Did you make any friends?" asked their mother. "Not really," said Miulan. That night, Miulan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." And Miulan felt loved, but they also felt sad. The next day, Miulan wore no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, no shells, no spines, not even any sparkles. Miulan was invited to play baseball with the boys. No one pointed, whispered, laughed, or stared, but when Miulan joined the girls playing hopscotch, "Boys don't play hopscotch," said a little girl. "Are you a girl or a boy anyways?" asked a little boy. "Didn't you have a shell the other day?" asked the little girl. "And feathers the day before?" "What are you supposed to be?" said several children at once. "I don't know," Miulan shouted, and galloped out of the playground on horses' hooves, swam through the stream with a fish's tail, and soared up on the hill on eagle's wings. "How was school?" asked Miulan's mother. "I wore feathers and stripes so the other kid would think I was beautiful, but they thought I was weird. And then I wore a shell and spines so that no one would pull or poke at me, but they wouldn't talk to me. And then I tried to be just like everyone else, but I still haven't made any friends. I can't decide what to be. Why do I have to be just one thing?" "It isn't always easy to be different from everyone else," said their mother. "But you can only be who you are." "What if the other children don't like who I am?" sniffled Miulan. Their mother smiled sadly. "I don't know," she admitted. but I do know this. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. And Miulan felt loved. That night, they slept a long, deep sleep. The next day, Miulan wore fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and many sparkles that glittered like stars. For a moment, none of the other children spoke. And then a little girl said, "You can fly? That's so cool." "I like your sparkles," said a little boy. "I'm sorry I pulled your feathers," said the boy with red hair. "I was just jealous of them." Miulan asked, "Does anyone want to play with me?" And they showed the other children how to gallop like horses, climb like monkeys, and swim like fish. It was fun to be many different things. And the child of fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and sparkles, who was neither boy nor girl, but many things and always changing, felt happy. In the little blue house on the hill on the edge of town, Miulan's mother smiled and sang the song her mother had sung to her once upon a time. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, for you are my child, courageous and free. And that is the end of From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. So, for my youth specifically, what do we think this book could be a symbol of? And I think, if you want a hint, it might be related to what we're talking about today. Yes, Henry, all the way in the back.
Not everyone is the same.
Not everyone is the same. I think that's a very good point. I think that's a very good idea, that not everyone is the same, and you sometimes can try to change yourself to fit in, but it does not do what you want it to do. Okay. All right, now, if you are in a row with a rainbow arch, which is one of the flags there, you can hold it up, and we will sing our children out to Ari.
There we go. All right.
We make space every Sunday for authentic and vulnerable sharing, which helps to build this community, this congregation, into a beloved community. We invite you to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people in your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other help. Excuse me. You are welcome to come pick up a stone or stones from the table. Infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow and place it in the singing bowl where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to verbally share something important on your heart, please come up and speak directly into the microphone. And all are welcome to participate in any of these ways. We light 3 candles for the intentions that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. One for the joys, one for the sorrows, and one for the strength of the gathered community that can support you and bring you peace.
Ask you to take a deep breath in. Try to relax into your body, your own physical self here. Maybe pull your arms down. Notice where you might be holding some tension. Notice that. Where am I tired or sore today? Am I holding in my stomach? Am I holding my shoulders up? Notice that for yourself. Breathe into that space in your own physical self. Feel that energy here in the room. As we acknowledge we are all physical beings having many different life experiences, many joys and sorrows, both said and unsaid. In that spirit, let's hold a little bit of silence together and feel this healing energy in this space. In this community of love and care for all people, today we are remembering and recognizing especially transgender people who have been killed due to violence, people who have been affected by gender violence in our world. We are remembering them and holding their memories. We're thinking of people who hold and are affected by violence on a daily basis, those who have lost loved ones, their family and friends, and those who worry for loved ones. May we come to a time when we cease to shame children and adults around gender roles and expression, where we allow for freedom and exploration of identity and expression of everyone at all ages, and to a world that operates from love, especially when things are difficult and confusing. May all of us who live with the threat of violence find support, strength, community, hope, and safety from violence. This past week was Transgender Day of Remembrance. Today we are especially spending some time around that. And I would like you in this moment to hold in mind perhaps someone you know, perhaps someone that you don't know. Maybe you don't know a trans person particularly, but can you send positive energy and love out to a community, hold them in your heart, and know that we are all affected by violence, even if we don't personally know someone. Let us hold that together. Thank you all for being in that space together. In that vein, I'm going to ask you to sing number 311, Let It Be a Dance, knowing that through all time and space, we are all experiencing different joys and sorrows across time and our lifetimes. Thank you.
dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance, let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Our offertory words come from Victoria Weinstein. This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community with membership open to all who are in accordance with our beliefs and mission. We are a welcoming congregation to people of all sexual orientations and genders, and we unconditionally welcome any and all of you to our community of mutual caring and serious intent to grow as spiritual and moral beings. Our congregation is entirely self-governed by a democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. You may also give online via the QR code on the back of the order of the service. The morning offering will now be gratefully received. Please join me in reciting the offertory blessing that can be found in your order of service or on the slide here. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
This morning we have a special guest speaker, Han Mathers. Would you come up? So I met Han last spring when a group of us, Renee Snodgrass and Argo, and I began working with some local other progressive congregations to start the first ever Farmington Pride. And from that, then there was the pastor at FAME, which is the Farmington African Methodist Episcopal Church, Reverend Dr. Pat Coleman, that she knows Han Mathers. And so she invited Han to come join us in our planning. And Han only stayed for a little while, but I learned a lot from Han. So Han was a part of the Michigan Organization on Adolescent Sexual Health and has since moved on, but I really appreciated that Han asked really good strategic thinking big questions. And so, when we were planning the service, I thought I would reach out to Han to come share with us today. So please give Han a warm welcome.
Oh, perfect. I'm pleased to know there's some singers here, so I want to start with a song. Join me, please, if you will. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you so much. I couldn't think of a better way to start a gathering for Trans Day of Visibility than singing together about light. My name is Han Mathers. I use they, them pronouns. I've been coming out as trans and non-binary over the last 3 years. Coming out is a constant journey. It has been scary, freeing, and a connecting experience. I'm grateful to be on my path and to be here today. What a beautiful space you all have created here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part. Before we begin, I wanted to just kind of settle into this moment together. Please get comfortable, close your eyes if you'd like. Join me in some breaths as I share some things that I'm remembering as I navigate this talk. We're here to honor trans people, transness, and expansiveness. We are here to remember our dead. We remember a pre-colonial time when humans and land lived in harmony. We remember a lack of separation from each other. We know this way of living is possible as we remember it together. We further remember that we are on land that has been tended to for years by the Three Fires Confederacy, an alliance of 3 Anishinaabe nations, the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi. We thank the land for its many gifts. We thank the people who have tended to a relationship of mutual flourishing with the land for many years. We honor the pain and the destruction that colonialism has done to our ability to be in relationship with each other, a relationship that indigenous peoples have fostered for thousands of years. We especially think of the two-spirited, trans, and non-binary indigenous people who are part of that history. We also remember that the infrastructure of this country was only made possible by the labor of Africans and their descendants who were kidnapped from their land and brutally forced to work for another's wealth. We honor their labor, their willingness to survive, and their legacy of fighting for freedom as a reason we are able to be gathered here today. We uplift the trauma and the suffering caused by our country's legacy of enslavement and displacement. We think particularly of the trans and gender expansive people who were part of that history. We breathe into this current moment and we remember this history. We breathe into reparations and indigenous sovereignty. We breathe into all movements for healing, justice, and safety. We remember our ancestors who resisted, who gathered to protect each other, who lived interdependently, who sang and danced and lived out freedom in their daily lives. We thank the trans people, those who are out and those who are not, as an important part of this history. We remember and thank these resistors, these creative thinkers, and honor them as the reasons that we are able to gather here today. We remember their legacy and commit ourselves to working towards being good future ancestors ourselves. Thank you. We are here to honor Trans Day of Remembrance, an annual event since 1999 to honor the lives of trans people who have died by anti-trans violence. In the words of its founder, Gwendolyn Ann Smith, a trans woman, activist, writer, and graphic designer, Trans Day of Remembrance, quote, seeks to highlight the losses we face due to anti-transgender bigotry and violence. I am no stranger to the need for our rights, to fight for our rights, she says. And the right to simply exist is first and foremost. With so many seeking to erase transgender people, sometimes in the most brutal ways possible, it is vitally important that those we lose are remembered and that we continue to fight for justice. I'm going to be sharing various readings by trans people of various faiths and spiritualities. Our first one is from The Opposite of Haram, a Queer Muslim Manifesto. It's titled, Shame is Not Ours to Carry. Shame is colonial. Shame was and continues to be foisted upon us from indoctrinating outside pressures, from colonization and the forces that collude with it, from our socialization and cultures in schools and workplaces. Shame is outside pressure claiming something is wrong with us, with who we are. Queer representation has been documented throughout the Islamic world from as far back as the 8th century. Muslim writing including Hijra, Mukanath, Mamsa, Kunith, and Kasi are a wide array of terms for intersex, eunuch, hermaphrodite, transgender, agender, and third gender folks. Of the 74 countries where queerness is illegalized, more than 40 were colonized by the British alone. As shared in this zine, trans people have always been here. I think this is something that a lot of our leaders or a lot of our politicians do not want us to believe. I can only imagine the rich history of trans people throughout the time of humans on this earth. I love taking a dreamy visit to that speculative history, and I hope you do too. Still, as demonstrated in this reading, there is documented history too. Not all of it has been erased or disregarded. I'm grateful for the archivists and historians who remind us that trans people have always been here. For the spiritual teachers who, with their practice, are in touch with their gender-expansive ancestors. Also, a critical approach to the erasure of this history is helpful, as demonstrated in my next reading. This is from At the Intersection of Queer and Jewish, a project by various youth artists at Keshet, which is a queer Jewish youth organization. Growing Room, an anonymous writer who uses the pronouns he, they. Sometimes I wonder, what would my great-grandparents think of their autistic, trans, pansexual great-grandchild who is sometimes afraid to examine his culture too closely, for fear of learning it will reject him. My study of the Torah, of Yiddish, of my family history, all have been slowed by fear. My coming out, too, has been slowed by fear of rejection, dismissal. Lately, I take comfort in the critical approach my Jewish teachers and peers take to a text. Surely with such an approach, I can find a way to make space for all of me. Today, I hope to facilitate a short space to remember transness as a light, a gift, a legitimate variation of the human experience, a way of life in which we all benefit from. I hope to lead us in a moment to remember those trans people we've lost this past year. I'm going to use the word remember in regards to collective memory, history, other worlds that have existed, worlds that exist now in certain spaces, and worlds that may exist again. I will also use the word to bring to our memory and our presence those who are now our ancestors. Can you feel the loss in your body as we remember? While I was reading only a few of the stories of the 310 trans people in the world that are being honored this year on Trans Day of Remembrance, I began to weep. I felt knots in my throat, turning in my stomach, and tears filling my eyes. I felt disgust and sadness for the losses to our communities. We lose trans people, our beloveds, to violence, hatred, and fear. When a trans person is killed, we as a community are all at a loss. We lose a beloved. We lose out on their gifts of creativity, resilience, transition, intuition, spirit, and more. I lament the fear of trans people, perpetuated by those in power all over the world, perpetuated currently by the President of the United States and so many others in office. I believe that this hatred is rooted in a fear of expansiveness, fear of love, and even a fear of God. Another reading from this At the Intersection of Queer Jewish zine called Asher Yatzar by James, who uses he, him pronouns. Blessed is he who made this body and called it whole, who built it queer and trans and disabled and called it good, whose image is expansive enough to hold all of my contradictions, all of my broken, all of my bruise. I daven the tefillah of childhood's skinned knees and the crooked growing of queer adolescence, of a gender constructed on what was missing. Only here it can be counted. Of 12 a.m. secrets and 2 a.m. tears, of the slow assembly of a holy place in which all of me can dwell. Blessed are you, Hashem, who calls this hollow body holy. We also know that the violence that deems the need for a Trans Day of Remembrance disproportionately impacts Black trans women. The layer of transphobia, systematic racism, patriarchy, police violence, and more leave Black trans women particularly vulnerable to the violence that our so-called leaders perpetuate. I want to zoom in and honor 3 Black trans women who were killed this last year in Michigan. Before I start, I'll read one piece from this book, which is called the Black Trans Prayer Book. It's a compilation of Black trans artists, healers, and spirit workers, co-edited by J. Mace III and Lady Dane Figueroa Edidi. This is called Blessing of Our Ancestors, Our Praying Grandmothers, by Deja Baptiste. You are not alone. You are not the first or the only. There is a lineage you are inheriting. It is your courage, your faith, your spirit that sets you apart. We are not doomed. We are not cursed. We are the blessed ones, the blessing. We are blessed to know our spirits are not only bound in our skin and flesh, that bodies, like names, are expressions, manifesting the soul we bear outside of time and beyond infinity. There is a lineage here. You were never the first time your family, your hometown, your faith, your lovers loved and were loved. By us, the blessed ones. We heard and nurtured our ancestors' dreams and came forward to create and dream, imagine and plant, live in the physical what is celebrated, and cherished and renewed in the spiritual. Christina Hayes was killed while working at the age of 28 in Detroit. Aside from the horrific details of her murder, I sadly wasn't able to find much about Christina. I learned that she loved wearing glamorous makeup. I'm disappointed to not be able to share anything else about her life. I trust and know that she is remembered by those who loved her as more than a news story. I imagine that she was funny, that she was imaginative, that she loved her friends. I wonder about her hobbies, who her first crush was and how that felt for her, what subjects she liked to talk about. I think about her loved ones holding her as a baby, dreaming of all of her potential. I think of her laughing with her friends. We grieve her loss for her family, her community, and for all of us. We remember Christina together. Join me in saying her name. Christina Hayes. Christina Hayes. Christina Hayes. Thank you. Another reading from the Black Trans Prayer Book. I hope it's okay to say a curse word. This poem has a curse word in it. I am from Red Lipstick and Blistex by Audria L.B. I am from Red Lipstick and Blistex, suicide attempts and panic attacks, Bibles and Nintendo 64. I came all the way from who I was meant to be, closer every day towards who I am turning out to be. I am glass blown from rose quartz sand. I am the R&B voice pouring through my mother's car stereo. I am nobody's fool but yours. I bring you daylight glinting off my glossy pink lips. I bring you cannabis and tobacco rolled meticulously in brown leaf. I give you prisms to bend love light in your own direction. I tell you that I am divine. I tell you that I am but a drop in an ocean of human wastefulness, that I am potential squandered, that I am green rays of light cast into outer space, that I am not the woman that you know. I ask myself who I am, and I do not reply. I leave the bitch on red for 54 minutes until I have decided that she has waited long enough. My lips move as though I am sleeping, and earth falls from my mouth. I create worlds. I carve songs from wooden love. I give you universes built from coded light. I am free. In the lines on my hand, I am free. In the locking of my hair, I am free. From the scars I have inflicted, I am free, and I am loved. Tahiri Broome was killed in Southfield at age 29. Family described Tahiri as brilliant, vibrant, and confident. She loved her friends and family. She was very outgoing and resilient and lived the life to the fullest. They said that she was, quote, genuinely one of the sweetest souls you'd ever meet and would give anyone the shirt off her back. She loved to make people laugh, was very confident, and she loved Nicki Minaj. I imagine her jamming out in the car with her friends. I imagine her comforting a family member who was struggling. I imagine her cracking jokes. I wonder what she would have been like as an elder. We grieve her loss for her family, our community, and for all of us. We remember Tahiri. Join me in saying her name. Tahiri Broome. Tahiri Broome. Tahiri Broome. Thank you. Another reading from the Black Trans Prayer Book. I am divine by Jah. I was not brought here to be your punching bag, but to provide divine guidance for your soul. You do not see me as I am meant to be seen. You ignore my divinity, and instead you try and break me with your words and your body. And yet in the midst of it all, here I am. Carmen Wells was a well-known icon in the ballroom community, known for its extravagant fashion, walks, and dance. She was a chosen mother to others. Her own chosen mother described her as, quote, the walking wonder, and said that she could, quote, set fire to any runway and light up any room. She was described as funny, resilient, and amazing. Her chosen mother said that she was determined and she was love. I imagine her walking the runway, of course. I imagine her practicing in the mirror and taking notes from her mother. I wonder what the dreams of her children were. We grieve her loss for her family, her community, and for all of us. We remember Carmen. Join me in saying her name together. Carmen Wells. Carmen Wells. Carmen Wells. Let's all take a deep breath together. We lose people courageous enough to live their truth, regardless of what dominant culture says. We pray for healing of the self-hatred of all people, and especially of leaders and institutions steeped in the lie of separation and colonialism. Allow us to heal from that which causes us to hate others and therefore ourselves. May we push back on every lie that speaks of superiority. May we heal from any lie that says that trans people are anything but sacred and important members of our community. May we heal, and may we return, and may we remember. Remember the way of living of human beings, that which honors our interdependence and mutual flourishing. As we remember, as we return, we grieve the loss of those trans people who have died this last year by violence, by suicide, in the name of hatred, lies, and religious nationalism. We uplift the lives of Black trans women particularly, beloveds in our community most impacted by the violence of the lies of transphobia. May their names and memories remain forever a part of us. May we learn to love trans people well, and therefore learn to love ourselves. May this grief, this healing, this remembering lead us to action, to solidarity, and to healing ourselves of hatred. I'd like to close with one more reading from the Black Trans Prayer Book. It's called My Breath is the Gift of Life by Deja Baptiste. The power of life and death lies in the tongue. And when you're trans, when you awaken to yourself as goddess, as God, as deity made manifest, divinity and starlight and grief and bliss in the flesh, give voice to the whispers, prayers, hopes, and lives of ancestors buried and forgotten. When you defy every agent of cis heteropatriarchy that rests on a violent binary of genitals, sex, and power, my breath is the gift of life. I had to walk lonely roads to come to myself. I had to face all-encompassing fears. I tasted bitterness, hopelessness, and all too familiar terror. Terror that every breath could be my last. That for every smile I shared, every piece of jewelry I picked up, every time I applied my makeup, these were worth my life. So I feared, so they said. But they didn't know the gifts of my body, my spirit, myself. They didn't know that my breath is the gift of life. As I spoke my name aloud for the first time, as I reclaimed my body, my rage, my sex, my voice, as I faced down my mother and told her I was myself, my own daughter, as I pieced together every lie and broken promise of family, kinship, and support, I am made in the image of my own vision, my hopes and dreams, my half-forgotten fears. I do not live a life or in a world dominated by cis horrors. I do not live for the threat of being punished. I am no one's mistake, no one's garbage. I am not disposable. I am myself. I am no one. I am every breath we've ever shared, as siblings, elders, ancestors all, trans, unbroken, never forgotten, always transcendent, priestess of time, of hope, dignity, sorrow, and promise. My breath is the gift of life. Thank you very much.
In the spirit of wanting to create a new world and believe and hope for the future, please join in singing number 108 in the great hymnal, My Life Flows On, an Endless Song. Yes, please stand if you are able.
My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the rill, the far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? No prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are ringing. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Brian, would you turn on the projector? Changed our last words. If you can see and read along with me, that would be wonderful. I was so moved by these words from the Message for All Ages book. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. For you are my child, courageous and free. And that is what we live for, creating a world where we can all be courageous and free. May it ever be so. Amen.